Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to jump in the monster manual and look at a potential big bad evil guy, the Rakshasa. Now, it's funny, I've been playing D&D 45 years this month, and I have only ever used the Rakshasa as a casual encounter. I usually had them play based on the picture there. I had them play as kind of suave and debonair kind of monsters who the players would talk with, but they really didn't end up fighting Rakshasas much at my table. That all changed last week. As often happens with my channel and my game, the one leads to the other. In this case, I was researching the Rakshasa, and I thought, well, why not do a video? This is a good big bad evil guy. Now, I decided to go ahead and hold the video until after I'd run the game so I could give some feedback about how the game went. So number appearing, or the frequency rather, is very rare to rare. Number appearing 1 to 4, which would be tremendously formidable. Armor class -4, which might be the deepest in the monster manual. 7 hit dice. 3 attacks, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 2 to 5. Special defense, or special attacks and defenses, see below. They are lawful evil, very intelligent, medium size. Known first in India, I love that, a real world reference. These evil spirits encased in flesh are spreading. They are fond of a diet of human meat, and as masters of illusion, they can easily gain this end. Rakshasas are able to employ ESP and then create illusion of what those who encountered them deem friendly. They can then withhold attack until their prey can be taken off guard. Although capable of using both magic user spells up to 3rd level and cleric spells 1st level, they are not affected by spells under 8th level. That is the big deal with the Rakshasa. They're not affected by spells of under 8th level. Rakshasas cannot be harmed by non-magical weapons. Magical weapons below +3 do 1/2 damage, but hits by crossbow bolts blessed by cleric kill them. If more than one Rakshasa is encountered in its lair, the group will be a male and 1 or more females. So first off, we have a reference to the real world, and it actually directly references India, which is just so cool. Second, I have a feeling that whoever wrote this, if we take it as Gary Gygax, that's fine. I have a feeling they used to watch Kolchak back in the mid-70s, because in an excellent episode, Horror in the Heights, Kolchak encounters a Rakshasa who takes on the form of people that are friends to its intended victim, and then as the victim comes forward, the Rakshasa mauls them, and that's that. Phil Silvers famously gets killed in that episode, by the way. And the Rakshasa is defeated by an enchanted crossbow bolt. So kind of neat that we see Kolchak right here, just living on the pages of the monster manual. But I want to talk a little bit about the monster itself. So armor class -4, very formidable. I, as a player, encountered one of these, and we really couldn't even hit the guy. And a +3 better, or +3 weapon or better to damage them fully. Otherwise, if it's just a +1 or a +2, it does 1/2 damage. And they're not harmed by non-magical weapons. So if I've got that non-magical sword and I swing on them, it doesn't get hurt at all. So the encounter that I did, I knew that the least magic weapon that my group had, they were 8th to 10th level, the least magic weapon they had was a +1 dagger that one of my players was using in his offhand. One of the thief of the group was using fighting longsword and dagger. And I knew that I would have a pretty good encounter based on its armor class and even the hit dice. At 7 hit dice, it's still fairly formidable for an 8th to 10th level group. But what I did was I had the party walk in and be in an illusion. The Rakshasa had sensed them coming, used its ESP, set up an illusion of itself as a king in a strange place that they were, and he wanted the players to bow to him and declare him their lord and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot of good role playing in there. But then, as the players were reluctant to do that, he said, well, okay, you can leave my lair, or my throne room, but you have to go on a quest. So the players go on this quest into another part of the dungeon, and they fought some monsters, but all of it took place in the same room, in the Rakshasa's lair, while Illusion was doing it. So it's kind of a holodeck adventure, which was really fun. I had a blast with this. And watching the players react to the king, they didn't know it was a Rakshasa, and being completely unaware that an illusion was in play, I kept them from being able to do the simple D&D thing of saying, oh, I disbelieve. And I kept that going through the entire encounter. And this was the encounter of the night. It started about 10 minutes into the game, and it went all the way to the end of the game and the ultimate defeat of the Rakshasa. They did not know, of course, it was a Rakshasa. They thought it was a human king that was holding court in this dungeon. And they were dealing with the ramifications of that, and he wanted them to swear obeisance to him, but they wouldn't do that. So he sent them on a quest. So it was a lot of fun. But in the final fight, the one human of the group, yes, everybody else was at elf or half elf. There was one human. The Rakshasa got the munchies. He attacked the one human of the group. So the players started fighting him, and then we saw the usual magic missile fly and such, and the Rakshasa is immune to all spells 8th level or under. So I had the magic missiles just fizzle out. They thought it was magic resistance on the creature. And then at one point, it was hit with a web. And I described the Rakshasa as just kind of shouldering its way through the web, but I was careful not to describe it as if it were free action. I didn't want the players thinking he just had a ring of free action. I wanted them to think that there was something else going on, which of course was his immunity to the spells. So because he was immune, I didn't allow that to work. The druid called up a summon insects on him. I didn't allow that to affect the Rakshasa. And I realized there's some argument that says it could, but it says clearly he is not affected by spells of 8th level or less. So to me, affected meant that the insects couldn't light on him and the spell couldn't affect him, couldn't be completed against him. So it ended up being a really good encounter for such a short entry in the monster manual. It ended up being an entire 3-hour game, and the only opponent they had all night was one Rakshasa. One Rakshasa plus a lot of illusion can be a lot of fun. I even threw a few clues out here and there just about the Rakshasa. The king was licking his lips and complaining of being hungry, and the illusion had food being brought up to him. And I dropped a few other things throughout the course of the game just to give my players a little something to try to work with. But none of them suspected a Rakshasa until the very end when he dropped his illusion and he went and he tried to kill and eat the human. It was just time to wrap the game, so I had to wrap it somehow. I toyed with doing it as a multi-night thing, but I ended up deciding against it. I just gave them a good final encounter against the Rakshasa. So it went really well. I like this monster. I've only ever used it in passing. As a player, I encountered it once that I remember, and we just kind of ended up talking with it. We didn't end up fighting it, and that's how I've used it in the past as a DM. I think I threw one into one of my Walpurgis games. Those are my Halloween kill games. I think I threw one into there and had it attack the players, disguising as one of the loved ones of the players. But they knew right away in that circumstance that it wasn't to be trusted. But in this case, they had no idea it was coming, and it worked really, really well. So let me know how you've used Rakshasa. If they're a great monster, or if you've had some bad luck with them, whatever you've done with them, let me know. Any magic items based on the Rakshasa? I haven't really thought of any, but there might be a few out there. Let me know. And that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video below. Please keep comments polite. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends. And take a look at the Patreon. See if you can help me keep the channel going. But that's all I've got today on page 121. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.